Hello, it's Gordon here, and this Facebook Live I've called "The Man on Top of the Mountain Didn't Fall There." The man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. What a great quote. It made me smile when I first saw it, and it's a quote from Vince Lombardi. Now, you might know who Vince Lombardi was, or you might not know. In fact, he was a coach, a sports coach in the NFL. And it's the Super Bowl this week. So it's as good a time as any for me to bring out my NFL sort of themed quote images that I've made. And I'll post that particular image below this video once I've posted the video. And in fact, in the Super Bowl, they're playing for the Lombardi Trophy. And he died in 1970, I think it was. And he'd been the coach of the Green Bay Packers, and he took them to winning the first 2 Super Bowls in its current form. And after he died, they named the trophy after him, and they're still playing for that trophy to this day. That's what they'll be trying to win this weekend. And Vince Lombardi is well thought of in the motivational field because there's lots of quotes attributed to him that he would tell his players, and he had tactical innovations as well. But the thing is, to win the 2 Super Bowls, he wasn't on the pitch, was he? It was the players on the pitch. So he used his tactical innovations, yes, and his motivational skills, yes, but that was a combination that got the players to do the work. And it's all about the work, is the point I'm making in this video, because Vince Lombardi himself had a ferocious work ethic, and he expected all his players to have the same ethic as well. And if they didn't, well, they weren't on his team for long. And you can see a lot of Vince Lombardi in Bill Belichick nowadays. If you don't toe the line completely with what he expects, you won't be on the team for long. So yes, it's all about the work. The man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. It's a great quote, isn't it? Because if you want to climb a mountain, for example, you learn how to climb a mountain, you prepare to climb the mountain, and all of that is great, but it won't mean anything unless you take the first step or put your first hand somewhere, put your first foot somewhere, and then get ready for a lot of hard work. Now, you could decide not to do that. You could decide to fall on the ground and moan about the people who are up the top of the mountain and say, "Oh, it's not fair. They're up the top of the mountain and I'm down here. Why? It's not fair." Well, could it be because of life's challenges, difficulties and obstacles, or could it be because you weren't prepared to put in the work? Or that someone moaning is not prepared to put in the work, but would rather lie on the ground and moan about the people at the top of the mountain who were prepared to put in the work? Now, am I saying that life doesn't have challenges and obstacles and difficulties? Well, no, clearly I'm not saying that, because that would be silly, wouldn't it? But what I'm saying is that the people who got to the top of the mountain, in all likelihood, faced similar difficulties, challenges and obstacles, but worked through, around, over or under them. But they kept on taking action and kept on working. And that is a choice. You can choose to put in the work, take the action, put in the struggles to try and get to the top of the mountain, or you could decide that you're going to hope to get to the top of the mountain by falling on the ground and moaning about not being at the top of the mountain. To look at one of the current big names in the motivational field, Brendon Burchard, he says that when opportunity knocks, it's going to be hard work that opens the door. All about the action. Action is what I call one of the 4 magic words beginning with A. And here's another thing as well. When you get to the top of the mountain, do you think that the work stops then? Well, no, it doesn't, does it? Because you've got to get back down again. And in fact, in the world of mountaineering, a lot of fatalities occur on the way back down again. It's just as hard, if not harder, to get back down safely. And in sport and the NFL, you can see it clearly because one of the teams playing in the Super Bowl, New England Patriots, this combination of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, they've kept going year after year. They've kept coming back. They haven't just got to the top and decided to settle for it. And in fact, in one of the semi-finals a couple of weeks ago, I did a video about this. We can look at the New Orleans Saints, who have won the Super Bowl, decided to not rest on their laurels and have kept on working, and should have been back there this year, but got stuffed by a penalty that wasn't called, and it destroyed their whole season. Which is the point that when you put in the work, life might dictate that you're not going to get to your goal and there's nothing you can do about it. It's a bit like you could be climbing up a mountain, putting in the work, a bit of ice gives way beneath you and you break a leg, and that's the end of your goal of getting to the top of the mountain, and instead you're lying in hospital. So yes, the man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. I really enjoy that quote. And in fact, it was sport and the NFL, one passions of mine, watching sport, which gave me my big breakthrough when it comes to turning passions into profit online. It was specifically the NFL. And I'll tell you how I did it in my book, Facebook Passion Profits, which you can see over at fbpassionprofits.com. I think it's quite a good book. I like it, but then I wrote it myself. And if you don't think it's any good, if you don't like it, I'll just give you your money back. You can't say fairer than that, can you? fbpassionprofits.com. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you watch the Super Bowl or the NFL or sport at all. If you've ever heard of Vince Lombardi, or what you think about the point I'm making, in line with his quote that the man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. You've got to put in the work. You've got to take the action. Not anyone else. It's not anyone else's job. It's not anyone else's responsibility. It's your personal responsibility for the choice, the action and the work. So let me know what you think. If you like the point I'm making, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. Feel free to share the video as well if you want. I'd appreciate that as well. Hope all is well with you. Wishing you as ever health and happiness. And I'll speak to you again soon.